Hi, Liz. Well, President-elect Trump is promising to oversee a dramatic and seismic shift in policy here at the U.S.-Mexico border. The incoming administration is pledging to reinstate policies like the Remain in Mexico program that requires migrants to await their asylum hearings on the other side of the border in Mexico and to have their cases adjudicated while they await their hearings outside of the U.S. They are also pledging to terminate several Biden administration programs lists that currently allow migrants to enter the country legally, including a smartphone app that allows people in Mexico to request asylum appointments at official border crossings through that application. And importantly, of course, the incoming administration led by Tom Homan as the border czar designated person is also promising to oversee the largest deportation operation in American history. And Homan told us that he will try to enlist the help of the Department of Defense for this massive operation, including by trying to use military planes to deport undocumented immigrants. People like Stephen Miller, the incoming Deputy Chief of Staff, have also said that the National Guard could be deputized in friendly states to arrest and deport unauthorized immigrants. And we are actually in front of the largest Texas military base here in Eagle Pass across the Rio Grande River. And it is very likely, Liz, that the Texas National Guard could help the incoming administration carry out this massive operation.
Don't be surprised when the deportations happen and you don't hear a huge outcry in the country, because Trump ran very clearly on that. They are expecting it. They know that it's going to happen.
What is your assessment of Trump's ability to keep his promises this time around? Does he have a mandate?
He thinks it's a mandate. These border districts that are predominantly Latino, they flipped from 2016 to 2024 hugely in Donald Trump's favor. One of the underappreciated things about what Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis did was that they exposed the hypocrisy among Democrats in non-border states and cities who didn't care about whether these border towns really actually did have the resources to deal with the influx, but they cared when it came to their doorstep. And I think that really bothered a lot of people, and that should not be ignored. Like, if Democrats want to address this, they're going to have to deal with that, and what went wrong there. Because I do think there's probably a decent stomach, actually, from a lot of voters to see deportations happen.
Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that.
Tom, you heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it. And I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see these breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute, it's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III, and what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, and President Trump's been clear, we want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If he don't want to fix it, if he don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
A few moments later.
All right, joining me now, the Denver Mayor, Mike Johnston. So, Mayor Johnston, you heard what he said. You got something in common. You're willing to go to jail. He's willing to put you there. He says he's going to enforce the law. Are you willing to go to jail over this?
You know, I think there are thoughtful ways to solve this problem. If they want to focus on violent criminals, we would be happy to help support pursuing, arresting, and deporting them. We've helped past administrations. We'd do that again. If they want to focus on adding more judicial capacity so folks with asylum claims can have those cases heard more quickly, we would support that. What we're not going to do is support deploying the 101st Airborne into American cities to pull 10-year-old kids out of their classrooms in handcuffs. I think that is immoral, that's unconstitutional, and that's un-American. And so I think if that's what they're proposing, they will find us resisting. If they want to partner on common sense solutions, we'll always be happy to partner.
So if Trump were to order ICE agents, for example, right, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, to go into the state of Colorado to enforce federal law, Would you order, Mayor Johnston, your police department to resist them? Or are you speaking at this point more of just an act of, protest resistance? Or would this actually be an order to your police department?
Yeah, we won't use our law enforcement, and we don't think we need to. That's not what we're after. I think America's not after another conflict on this issue. They're after a way to find pragmatic solutions to this problem. And so, to quote Lincoln, we don't think here that might makes right. We think that right makes might. And so if they are going to send the U.S. Army or the Navy SEALs into Denver to pursue folks to pull them off the job at hotels or restaurants where they're working, or pull kids off the soccer field, I think we will see Denverites and folks around the country who will nonviolently resist that, because I think that doesn't represent our values and doesn't represent the Constitution.
Dear Tucsonans, as your mayor, I want to reassure every single resident that I am committed to do all we can to keep our community safe. I am deeply troubled by President-elect Trump's plans for mass deportation. I believe they are cruel and immoral. I will work with our police chief to make sure that our focus remains on protecting and serving Tucsonans. Here in Tucson, we know how to stand up and fight against hate and racist laws. Part of our history is coming together with our faith leaders and other organizations to protect children and families from separation. I am unwavering in my commitment to this fight. While we do not have specific details about how mass deportations will be carried out by President-elect Trump's administration, we do know that it will be painful to children, families, and our immigrant communities. We do not have the exact details as to when and if Proposition 314 goes into effect. We know that this hate-filled proposition draws from SB 1070, the Show Me Your Papers law. We are a compassionate city that knows that we are stronger together and that values our multiracial heritage. Justice will prevail.
What you've done is not only protect the state of Texas and the citizens of Texas, you are protecting this nation. And it's a shame we have other governors and other mayors who are right out of the gate have said they're going to push back on President Trump and what we're trying to do, especially for interior enforcement. Let me be clear. There is going to be a mass deportation because we just finished a mass illegal immigration crisis on the border, where anybody can look at 9 out of 10 people claim asylum at the border will end up with an order removal. So you can't ask for the right to claim asylum, the right to see a judge, the right to due process, and we give you that due process, and at the end of that due process, a federal judge orders you removed, we have to remove them. Because if we don't, shut down the immigration court. Those orders don't mean anything anymore. Take you guys off the border because there's no consequences. So you can't demand due process and the right to claim asylum and not obey the court order. That is why there needs to be a mass deportation. We have a mass number of people, millions of people who will get a final order and be order removed. If we don't do it, what is the option? Let them stay? Because if you let them stay, you'll never fix the border. You're going to send a message to the rest of the world. Enter the country legally, which is a crime. Ignore a court order. You never have to go home. We're telling the whole world it's okay to enter this country legally. You never got to go home. We're a nation of laws. And we're going to enforce the laws. The men and women of ICE, they're going to have a tough job ahead of them. And I'm sending a message for people that said they're going to get in our way. They're going to stop us from doing what we're doing on an interior enforcement operation. I've said it 100 times in the last week. Don't cross that line. It is a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country. We've had enough crime in this country, illegal alien crime. It's time to end it and stop it. President Trump's committed to it. He's committed to securing this border. He's committed to having this mass deportation operation and concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. For any mayor or governor who's going to push back on removing public safety threats from your community, that is your number one responsibility. You ought to be teaming up with us. We have created the biggest national security vulnerability in this nation on the southern border. Because like I said, 2 million known gotaways, we don't know how many unknown gotaways, already recognized.
And you know, Tom Homan, you got a very, very powerful weapon that the Democrats, when they're in power, use against Republican administrations, state and local, all the time. Federal funding. If you have a governor who says, I'm not going to cooperate, and I'm going to block you, well then, federal funds should be slashed to that state, and I mean hugely so the people of that state understand that the governor is the responsible party, that the mayor's the responsible party. They can beat their chest to being sanctuary cities all they want. They're part of the United States, whether they like it or not. This is a federal issue. Even the governor of Texas, he's the one trying to enforce federal law against the Biden administration. That won't. But these states, much like the Confederacy, they want to go on their own. They want to do their own thing. To me, you've got a powerful weapon, among others, which is okay, no federal funds. Boom. Last thoughts.
And that's going to happen. I guarantee you, President Trump will do that.